Today I'm going to do a quick overview of the Read and Write for Google Chrome toolbar. If you don't see it in your screen, it could be that you just need to click on this icon up here and it will bring it up. Or you may have this smaller icon that you can just click on the drop-down menu to bring it up. I'm going to start on the left and run through all of the different options. The first is the Check It feature, which is essentially a spelling and grammar check. And you'll see that it brings up underlined items. And if I click on where it's been underlined, it will give me some other options for words that I might want to replace it with. Or I can ignore it or add it to the dictionary. The next option is the prediction. And let's say I've started typing, I don't know what to type. Okay, it's going to give me some options. And it will also read the word aloud to me, which is kind of helpful. Let's see. You can see I tried that earlier. And going over here, we have the dictionary. So if I highlight and click on the dictionary, it will bring up the definition, and you can also have it read the definition aloud.
Noun. A piece of jewelry that is worn around the finger. He bought her a diamond ring. Noun. A piece of...
And you can also click on the picture dictionary, and this will help with understanding as well. This is your read aloud option here. You just play it.
3 rings for the elven kings under the sky.
We can
7
pause
for
it
the dwarf
or
lords
stop
in their
it.
halls.
This is a screenshot reader, which is helpful if you've taken in a screenshot of text from another site. The only thing is I think there's an added extension for that. So let us know if that's something you're really interested in. Next is the audio maker. And let's say I wanted to have this entire part saved as an audio file. I highlight it, click on the audio maker, and it will start to create an audio file. And now I can show it in the folder, and I can play it back, and I can use it in another.
3 rings for the elven kings under the sky. 7 for the dwarf lords in their hall.
So I can use this at another time if I want to be able to go back to it. Okay, web search. If we wanted to do a search for Elven Kings, it would bring up a Google page with options for searching for that item. I really like this screen mask. This is super helpful if you have a lot of text on one page and it's hard to focus because there's just too much. It will block out with different levels of how opaque it will be. And you can choose that by going right up here to the settings. You can go in there and choose lots of different features with the screen mask tool. Next, we have the talk and type, and this is really pretty accurate. It will start immediately. The one thing that I've noticed is that it doesn't put in punctuation. So if you want a period, you need to put it in. And you're going to see what happens if you say the word period or comma. Okay. You can stop it by just pressing on the button and close it out. Next, we have the translator. And in your settings, over here, you can choose different options, and you can choose, for speech, this is what I was talking about before, you can choose different languages. For read aloud, you can also change the speed. You can decide what level of reading it's going to do, whether it's continuous, speak each word, or on a sentence. And you can also choose what language to translate it into. Next, we have the highlight feature, which, okay, we have a highlighter down here in Google, but this has some pretty special, cool things about it. Let's say I want to highlight everything that has to do with hobbits in yellow. In green, I want to do everything that has to do with elves. There we go. And in blue, I want to, whoops, change that back. You have to highlight first and you can highlight in blue. I'm actually going to change this whole sentence to yellow. And then mortal men, we want to have in pink. This is really helpful if you want to start organizing your thoughts in a paper. You've just written down a lot of notes. They're kind of random all over the place, but you want to start organizing them. Over here, you can collect your highlights. I'm going to just quickly say whatever you don't want highlighted, you can select it all and just click clear highlights. But I want to collect them right now, and I'm going to choose all 4 because I've used them all. And now it's going to create a new document, and it's going to have those separated. And you can start moving those around, and you can start organizing just your highlighted notes for how you want to organize your notes, your thoughts, whatever. And moving on to vocabulary, I'm going to clear all these highlights right now by using that tool. But let's say I just want to highlight individual words that I want to go back to later. And this will only work for words. If you have a sentence chosen, it won't work. We already have ring, so I'm going to choose rule. And then clicking on this vocabulary, this is helpful if you want to create your own vocabulary document to refer back to, or if teachers want to create a vocabulary document for students, you can do that. Clicking on this, it's going to create a new document. We'll see it show up in a second here. Here it is. And it gives the word, the definition. It also gives symbols. If there's something in the picture dictionary, it will show up here. Okay. Now, the one thing I did notice when I was playing with this earlier is if I highlight another word and I want to do this again, it will create a whole new document. So you can either wait till you're done, or you can copy and paste from one document into another to make one longer document, whatever works for you. And going over here, I've talked about this already, but this is where you leave a voice comment. So you bring it up and click on the microphone. It will start recording immediately, and you click on this again to stop it, and I can insert it. And it will take a minute or so. You'll see this kind of rainbow line showing up here. That means that it's working on it. And as soon as it's done, you'll see that it will insert a comment over here that will have a playback feature. Okay, right there. Microphone. It will start recording immediately, and you click on it. Okay. And last but not least, if you would like to have your students work on their fluency, this is a handy feature. You or they can select a text, have them select a text, and practice reading aloud. It will create a new document, and once that opens up, they can start recording, and it will record what I'm saying. So 3 rings for the elven kings under the sky, 7 for the dwarf lords in their halls of stone. You get the picture. I'm going to click stop. And then I can send to a teacher, and trying to find a list of teachers. I sent it to myself earlier, so it always brings that up last. Earlier today when I tried it, it actually brought up my Google Classroom teachers. So that would be helpful as well, so that it's a ready list. You can also choose another teacher by just clicking on that option. And because Renee is the teacher in a class that we are in, that automatically came up, but I can also type in an email address and find the teacher that way. And I'm going to, for now, say do this later. When your teacher gets an email about that, it looks just like this, and they can have a listen, and it will bring up that file. It's dangerous business, Frodo. Going. Okay. So that is the Read and Write Toolbar in a nutshell. Please let me know if you have any questions.